The night everything changed didn't look special at first. The city lights flickered like they always did. Cars hurried down the old highway. And somewhere at the edge of that restless city, a man worth more than some countries sat alone in a black sedan. Leonardo Vale, the youngest billionaire in the state, a man feared in boardrooms, hated by rivals, and admired by the same people who whispered about him behind closed doors. But tonight, his eyes were fixed on one thing: a woman. Not just any woman, the woman someone else was about to marry. Her name was Elara Monroe. She didn't know that her life, her heart, and her entire future were minutes away from being stolen. The car slowed. Leonardo exhaled once, steady, controlled, then stepped into the night. Rain tapped quietly on the street as he pulled his coat tighter and walked toward the small church glowing with warm lights. Inside, guests laughed softly. A piano played gently, and Elara stood before a mirror adjusting the final pin in her hair. She looked breathtaking. But what made her beautiful wasn't the gown. It was the innocence in her eyes. The kind of purity Leonardo thought no longer existed in people like him. He had seen her once, only once, months ago, but that single moment had branded itself into him like a mark he couldn't erase. She didn't see him back then. He saw her, and that was enough. Leonardo approached the side door of the church where a man in a gray suit stepped out nervously. "You're late," the man whispered. Leonardo looked at him, calm but dangerous. "Is she alone?" "Yes, everyone's inside. We have 7 minutes." 7 minutes before she walked down the aisle. 7 minutes before she married the man who didn't deserve her. 7 minutes before Leonardo did the one thing he never imagined himself doing. He wasn't a romantic. He wasn't a hero. He was a man who got what he wanted, and tonight he wanted her. He entered quietly. Elara didn't hear the door. Her back was turned, focused on the veil she was smoothing. He stopped. For the first time in forever, he hesitated. "She won't scream," the man in the gray suit murmured. Leonardo didn't respond. He simply walked forward, each step echoing softly, until she finally lifted her eyes and saw his reflection in the mirror. She froze. Her breath caught. She turned slowly. "Who are you?" Leonardo didn't move, didn't blink. "Elara," he said softly. Her name tasted like something forbidden. "You're not safe here." Confusion crossed her eyes. "What do you mean? We need to leave," he interrupted, voice controlled but urgent. "Now." She stepped back. Her hand trembled slightly. "Leave? With you? I don't even know you." Leonardo closed the space between them gently. "You don't have to know me," he said. "You just have to trust me for 5 minutes. After that, if you want to walk away, you can." She stared into his eyes. Something in his voice, steady, heavy, real, disarmed her defenses. But she shook her head. "I'm getting married," she whispered. "In a few minutes." "I know." She flinched, as if the weight of that confession unsettled her more than his presence. Before she could speak again, heavy footsteps echoed outside the room. Leonardo's jaw tightened. No more time. He took her hand. Her breath hitched. His touch was firm but careful, like he was holding something fragile. Then the door swung open.
"Elara!" Her fiancé stood there, angry, confused, ready to explode. He lunged. Leonardo moved faster. One step, one punch. The man collapsed instantly. Elara gasped. Leonardo didn't even look down. "Now," he said. "Choose." Outside, Chaos began. Voices, running, someone shouting her name. Elara stepped back, heartbeat wild. "This is insane!" Leonardo opened the side door. Rain and wind rushed in. "This is your only chance," he said. "If you stay, everything you believe about this wedding, about him, will fall apart." She didn't know why she believed him, but she did. And so, she ran. Leonardo shielded her as they slipped into the dark alley, his hand around hers like he had no intention of letting go. The getaway car pulled forward. A driver opened the back door. "In," Leonardo said. Elara hesitated again, then stepped inside. The car sped off. For the first few minutes, neither of them spoke. The rain softened. City lights blurred through the windows. Her wedding dress glowed faintly in the dim cabin light. Elara finally whispered, "Who are you really? And why did you take me?" Leonardo watched her for a long moment. He exhaled. "Elara, the man you were about to marry, he doesn't love you. He doesn't even want you. He wants your father's company." The words sliced through the air. She shook her head immediately. No, he wouldn't do that. We've been together 2 years. Leonardo leaned closer. "He forged your father's signature 3 times. Her breath collapsed. "How do you know that?" Silence stretched. Finally, Leonardo answered, "Because I own the company he's trying to steal." Her heart stopped. "You... what?" "I am Leonardo Vale." Fear washed across her face. She knew that name. Everyone knew that name. "You're the billionaire who—" "Yes." "And you kidnapped me to— what? Punish him?" Leonardo shook his head slowly. "Not him." He held her gaze. "You." Her pulse raced. Her throat tightened. "Why me?" Leonardo looked away, as if admitting the answer out loud cost him something. He said, "Because you're the only thing he cares about losing, and your safety was the only leverage I had to stop what he planned." Elara couldn't breathe. "So I'm just a strategy to you?" Leonardo turned back to her. "No," he said firmly. "You became much more the moment I walked into that room." Her stomach flipped. The car turned sharply. Elara pressed her palm to the window, whispering, "Where are you taking me?" Leonardo answered with a calmness that felt almost terrifying. "To my estate." She snapped toward him. "What? No, absolutely not. Take me home." "I can't." "Leonardo!" "We intercepted a call," he said. "They're coming for you. Not to bring you back, to silence you." The air froze. "No," she whispered. "He wouldn't. He couldn't." Leonardo held her eyes without blinking. "He paid them last night." The truth hit her like a blow. Elara pressed her chest, struggling to breathe. Rain streaked the windows like tears she refused to let fall. Minutes passed. Finally, a long driveway appeared. Tall, iron gates opened. Leonardo's mansion rose like a fortress. Elara swallowed hard. "This is kidnapping," she whispered. "No," he said. "This is protection." "But you brought me here without asking." Leonardo leaned forward. For the first time, there was emotion, vulnerability in his voice. "If I asked you, you would have said no, and then you'd be dead." The car stopped. The door opened. Leonardo stepped out first, then extended a hand to her. She stared at it, at him, at the storm inside herself. And then she placed her hand in his. The moment her fingers touched his palm, something shifted. He felt it. She felt it. Neither spoke. Inside the mansion, warmth greeted them. Soft lights, crackling fire, silence wrapped in luxury. Leonardo removed his coat, still watching her. "You'll stay here," he said. "You'll be safe." "I don't want to stay here." "That's understandable," he replied softly, "but necessary." Elara folded her arms. "What do you even expect me to do here?" Leonardo held her gaze for a long moment, then turned away as if the truth was too dangerous to show. "Stay alive," he said. He began walking up the stairs. Elara watched him, confused, frightened, and strangely drawn to him. "Leonardo," she called. He stopped. She swallowed. "When will I be allowed to leave?" Leonardo looked over his shoulder, his eyes dark, conflicted, and honest. "When it's safe, and when I'm sure you won't walk straight back into the arms of the man who tried to kill you." Her breath trembled. "And how long will that take?" Leonardo stepped closer, slowly, one step at a time. "You will see him the way I do," he said softly. A chill swept over her. "A liar? One who uses you. One who never deserved you. One who, unlike me," Leonardo paused, "never loved you enough to protect you." Her heart slammed against her ribs. "You don't even know me," she whispered.
Leonardo shook his head. "That's the thing," he said. "I know you more than anyone ever has." Her breathing faltered. "What do you want from me?" she whispered. Leonardo's voice dropped to a low confession. "I want you safe. I want you alive. And I want you here, even after the danger is gone." Elara stepped back. Shock, fear, something else she refused to name. "You think you can just steal me and expect me to stay?" Leonardo exhaled, eyes intense. "I didn't steal you," he said. "I took you to keep you alive." He leaned in slightly. "But yes, I intend to keep you." Her pulse thundered. "Why?" she whispered. Leonardo's answer came quietly, painfully, truthfully. "Because the moment I saw you, I knew losing you would destroy me." Heavy, charged. Elara turned away quickly, overwhelmed. Leonardo didn't stop her, didn't touch her. He simply watched her walk down the hall, knowing that saving her was only the beginning, and keeping her would cost him everything. Elara didn't sleep that night. She lay awake in the huge, unfamiliar bed, the soft sheets unable to calm the storm inside her. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the church, the aisle she never walked down, her fiancé's face when Leonardo struck him, and Leonardo's eyes, dark, steady, unreadable, when he said he intended to keep her. The clock on the wall ticked softly. 2:13 a.m. She sat up, hugging her knees, trying to breathe normally. She wasn't a prisoner. He hadn't locked the door. He hadn't touched her. He hadn't even spoken to her after showing her the room. But the house itself felt like a cage, and Leonardo Vale felt like a storm she didn't know how to survive. A soft knock broke the silence. Elara stiffened. The door opened slowly. A woman stepped in. Older, calm, elegant, with warm eyes full of sympathy. "I brought you some tea," she said softly. "You must be overwhelmed." Elara exhaled shakily. "Who are you?" "Marion. I take care of the house, and the man who owns it." She smiled sadly. "He may look like he doesn't need taking care of, but he does." Elara's throat tightened. Marion sat gently on the edge of the bed and offered the steaming cup. "You're safe here. I know it doesn't feel like it, but Leonardo, he only does things when he's sure." Elara wrapped her hands around the cup, letting the warmth steady her. "Why does he care about me?" she whispered. Marion hesitated, then spoke quietly. "He's been watching over you longer than you think." Her chest tightened. "What do you mean?" Marion looked at her with gentle honesty. "You weren't kidnapped, Elara. You were rescued by a man who would burn the world if it meant keeping you alive." Her heart pounded. She didn't know whether to feel fear or something dangerously close to curiosity. Marion stood. "Try to rest. Tomorrow, things will make more sense." When she left, Elara stared at the tea in her hands. She didn't drink it. She stayed awake until morning.
The sun spilled into the room like a soft invitation she didn't want to accept. Elara changed into the clothes placed neatly on a chair. Simple, comfortable, nothing flashy, nothing controlling. She opened the door slowly. The hallway was quiet, almost too quiet. She wandered until she reached the main staircase. Voices echoed faintly below. Leonardo's voice. Calm, cold, dangerous. No one touches her. No one approaches her without permission. If anyone tries, anyone, they disappear. Her breath caught. Another voice, shaky. "We understand, sir." Good. Footsteps. Elara panicked and ducked behind a wall just as Leonardo appeared at the bottom of the staircase. He was dressed in a black shirt, sleeves rolled up, phone in hand, looking like a man who handled empires before breakfast. He paused, looked up, saw her. Their eyes locked. For a moment neither moved. Then Leonardo spoke. Voice lower than last night. "You didn't sleep." It wasn't a question. Elara stepped forward slowly. "I couldn't." He nodded once, as if he expected that. "Come downstairs. You should eat something." "I'm not hungry." He walked closer, each step measured, gentle, but carrying the weight of someone who wasn't used to being refused. "You need your strength." "For what?" she whispered. His jaw tightened. "Elara, there are people out there looking for you. Angry, desperate, paid." He paused. "You're safer near me." She swallowed. Safe? Or trapped? Leonardo stopped a few feet away. "If I wanted you trapped," he said quietly, "you wouldn't be standing at the top of the staircase questioning me." His words sent a shiver down her spine. But then he looked away, as if struggling with something inside him. "Elara, I'm not your enemy. You took me from my wedding to save your life. You punched my fiancé." Leonardo's eyes hardened. He deserved worse. He stepped closer. "Elara, look at me." She didn't want to, but she did.
His voice softened dangerously. "He tried to have you killed. He traded your life for a business deal. And you still speak as if he deserves your loyalty." She blinked rapidly, holding back tears. "How do I know you're telling the truth?" He inhaled slowly. "I'll show you." He turned, motioning for her to follow. Part of her wanted to run in the opposite direction, but curiosity and fear, and the strange sense of safety she felt near him, pulled her forward. They walked into a private study. Leonardo opened a drawer and placed a folder on the table. He said, "Everything is in here. Payment trails, messaging logs, contract drafts, his plans, his motives." He tapped his finger on the folder. "And your name, written like a transaction." Her blood ran cold. She opened the folder. Her fiancé's signature, wire transfers, encrypted messages discussing her removal. Her stomach twisted. She covered her mouth, tears spilling. "No, no, this can't—" Leonardo stepped closer, not touching her but offering the warmth of his presence. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I tried to warn you." Elara turned toward him, eyes broken. "Why would he do this? Why would he want me dead?" Leonardo looked at her for a long, heavy moment, then said the one truth she wasn't ready to face. Because he knew that once you married him, you'd eventually discover the lies he built around you, and then he'd lose control. Elara's hands trembled, her knees weakened, and before she collapsed, Leonardo moved, fast, catching her gently, his arms wrapped around her, warm, steady, strong. She didn't resist, she didn't pull away, she just broke. Leonardo held her for a long moment, his voice low and steady. "You're safe now," he whispered. "I'll protect you." He paused. "And even from your own heart, if I have to." She inhaled shakily against his chest. "Why do you care so much? Why me?" Leonardo closed his eyes. When he spoke, his voice was raw, honest, almost painful. "Because before I ever touched you, I loved you." Elara froze. Her heart stopped. Leonardo opened his eyes and looked at her with a truth she wasn't prepared to face. "I didn't steal you," he said softly. "I chose you, long before you ever knew my name." Her breath trembled. She didn't know whether to run from him or run to him, but she knew one thing. Her life was no longer hers alone. And Leonardo Vale wasn't a man she could escape. He was a man destiny forced into her path. And now, he was a man she would have to face, whether she wanted to or not. If you enjoyed this story, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Golden Billionaire Stories, where every tale drips with luxury, power, and passion. Because here, love always comes with a price.